Hey everybody, this is Dead Winter Dead with another Battlefield 4 video for you. Today we're taking a look at a game of Carrier Assault on the map Wavebreaker. This is part of the new Naval Strike DLC for Battlefield 4, and it is overall a pretty good DLC. It's pretty well put together. Most of the maps, while very, very similar, in some cases uncomfortably similar, it's almost difficult to tell some of the maps apart. They're all fairly well designed. It's like having four maps that are as well designed as, say, Caspian Border, or well designed as, say, Seine Crossing. Four very similar maps, and they're really all fairly well designed. But what we're here to talk about today is the actual game mode of Carrier Assault. Now, for those of you who do not know, Carrier Assault is the, I guess you could put it as, it is the one who's taking the crown from Battlefield 2142. The original mode was called Titan Mode. If you are not familiar with either Titan Mode or Carrier Assault, go ahead and take a look at the internet. There's plenty of articles and videos and material, blogs and whatnot that describe exactly how this game mode works. This video is not to describe how the game mode works, but to give you my opinion on what is actually wrong with Carrier Assault. Now, I feel a little bit weird saying excuse me. I feel a little bit weird saying that there's something wrong with Carrier Assault, but we're all thinking it. We all know there's just something off with it. It's a fun game mode. I've put several hours into it. I've put even more hours into these maps in various different game modes: Rush, Conquest, a little bit of Team Deathmatch. But for the most part, I've been playing either Conquest or Carrier Assault. Now, the one problem I have, the one thing that I think is wrong with the overall design. Now, by design, I mean this is purely DICE's problem. DICE's interpretation of this design in Battlefield 4 is the simple fact that they have placed parachute spawns over the enemy carriers when the enemy carriers become open. Now, you might be saying, well, the enemy carrier was breached. We, as the attacking team, have the right to be able to gain access to that enemy carrier as quickly as possible. Actually, no, you don't. And, you know, if you want to try to be realistic, now I know we're talking about video games, but realistically, how the hell would how the hell would a parachute spawn point pop up right over the enemy carrier? I mean, the enemy carrier seemingly has weapon systems that would stop aircraft from entering its airspace, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, there's this magical parachute spawn that allows you to simply just basically get right into the fight, effectively negating all of the enemy's defenses, getting right onto the boat and attacking those quote-unquote MCOMs. No, that's silly. And the reason I say that, and the reason that it destroys the flow of the game, is for those of you who remember Battlefield 2142 Titan Mode. Once you breach the enemy's Titan, excuse me, one of two things happened. You could either assault the enemy Titan directly with your infantry units, or you could continue to hold the ground points and just fire rockets into the air and slam ordnance into their side of their now unshielded Titan and bring it to the ground the old-fashioned way, just pounding it into the dust with pure firepower. Or, like I said, you could put your your infantry units to full bear and have them actually assault the enemy Titan directly. Doesn't matter which way you choose, the end is always the same if you are successful, and that is the ultimate destruction of the enemy Titan. Now, one thing that did not exist in 2142 was there was no secret magic. Here you go, you're on the enemy Titan. Absolutely no work is involved. You simply just press this deploy button and boom, you are there. Not at all. Excuse me. Several things had to happen. You had to either be able to spawn on a squad leader spawn beacon who had already boarded the enemy Titan, or you had to get a transport air vehicle to actually fly you over to the enemy Titan And the third option was there were these armored personnel carriers, these large armored personnel carriers that are very similar to the modern BF3, BF4 Amtraks. And what they did was they allowed you to negotiate the enemy terrain on the ground, and then once you got close enough to the Titan, distance to be determined, you actually move to another seat, and that particular seat puts you in control of a drop pod. You fired yourself, which basically you were basically a human mortar. You shot yourself up into the air and arced your way on to the enemy Titan. Right here, this is just a crazy glitch. I thought I was stuck in the corner, and I actually have to try to commit some kind of weird suicide, so I just throw impact grenades at my feet. I have no idea what was sticking me there. And the lag that you're seeing on my screen is not lag from the video. It's actually lag in-game. I had no idea what the hell was going on, and it turns out it looks like my feet were under the map stuck in the water. Anyway, thanks for the glitch dice. But my main problem with Carrier Assault is the fact that it gives you a gimme spawn point. You don't have to work to get that spawn point. The spawn point is non-negotiable. Once the enemy carrier is open, you have it. It doesn't matter how many enemy soldiers are actually on the enemy carrier. You just have that parachute point, and it actually kills the idea of assaulting the carrier. The game mode is called Carrier Assault. So the idea that all of a sudden you have this magical spawn point floating above the enemy carrier kind of destroys it. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. I think it would be better if the parachute spawn was actually removed from the game, from above the enemy carrier, and you actually had to make your way somehow to the enemy carrier, whether it was an air asset or a water asset. Anyway, guys, my name's Dead Winter Dead. Thanks for watching.